Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And today we'll give you an update of EUDAMED. So EUDAMED, there was a big change, a big update. So EUDAMED was closed during 3 days. So to make this transformation, and now it's reopened again. And I wanted to give you an update with the guru of EUDAMED, the only one I know, which is Richard Houlihan. So Richard, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Thanks, Munir.
So Richard, we haven't talked since a lot of months, if I can say, because there was not so much changes on EUDAMED. But we had talked recently on some live episodes where we talked about legacy devices, about the creation of EUDAMED ID, EUDAMED DI, etc. So if you want to go to look at those episodes, or also how to work with the economic operator module for EUDAMED. And now we have a new module that was open. So we'll discuss about that. But before that, for people that maybe don't know you, because as I said, we didn't talk since many months now, can you make a small introduction?
My background is IT, 27 years now, as you can, getting older, but 27 years in IT. I joined the commission in 2011, taking over on EUDAMED 2, then 2017 took over EUDAMED 3, running the technical teams. So I was the one running the teams that were building EUDAMED initially. Left in 2019, set up EUDAMED.com, and effectively we are that one-stop shop for everything EUDAMED. Anything you need to know, any help you need,
exactly.
We can do it.
So Richard is my guru. Each time I have a question on EUDAMED, I send that to him and I get an immediate answer. So really a great person to help us now today for understanding what's the situation actually of EUDAMED. Richard, as you've said, so you are now, if I can say, experiencing, if I can say, a new change on EUDAMED. So, but before to talk about this new change, what happened since mainly the module that your economic operator modules was opened in December last year? So was there any difficulty for EUDAMED? Was there any issues, any bugs, any things where they had to stop everything because there was some problems, or everything went smoothly and everything went well?
Tough question. It's small issues. And it's not even so much the issues with the software. It's to do with the competent authorities.
Okay.
Some competent authorities haven't even responded to applications.
True. I think we discussed that with a previous podcast where we said that I think that some countries said, no, we'll not go for EUDAMED for now. You have to register on our local database, etc., which was surprising because we thought that EUDAMED was European. So everybody thought that, but they've said mainly, we will do that when EUDAMED will be fully available or something like that, which was a bit surprising for a lot of people because a lot of people were not able to register on EUDAMED because of them. So was this solved, or it's still on the same situation?
No, for some countries, some of the German competent authorities, they held back until MDR applied because they said they didn't have a legal right to register. That's fine. But for other competent authorities, I won't name them, but for other competent authorities, they're just not validating.
Okay.
And I've emailed them, I've called them, I've said, look, we have these applications in. It's now been sitting there 6 months. This is the ID. And nothing.
Yeah.
No response, no comment, just absolutely nothing. So there's a lot of differences between countries, and even down to the mandatory fields when you're filling in the applications. Like the ERI number. The ERI number, it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
But certain competent authorities, or a specific competent authority, is refusing applications if you do not type in no ERI.
Okay.
It's a bizarre one. Maybe it helps them filter the applications quicker or something. I don't know. Maybe they can sort them prettily, but it's a strange reason to say no.
Yeah. For now, I never had this case for now where I had to put the ERI number I never put it because I don't know first where to find it, but I never put it. And for now, nobody blocked me or my customers because we didn't put that. But I think this is maybe something that they have to put on EUDAMED to say, if you don't have it, you have to write no AORE or something like that.
But it's only one competent authority.
Yeah, but
and then there's another two. Then, if you're entering, if you're creating an authorized representative account,
okay.
Normally, you just fill in the thing, hit submit. They go authorized rep, validate. But two particular competent authorities will not validate an authorized rep until you have sent them an existing mandate with a non-EU manufacturer.
Oh,
and you have to email it to them because it's not asked for an EUDAMED. It's asked for an EUDAMED by the non-EU manufacturer who has to upload the mandate. But these authorized reps are being asked for mandate in advance of everything.
So I'm happy that my competent authority didn't do that for me, because we opened in Belgium an office for Easy Medical Device as an EU rep. And the Belgium authority never asked that, which was good because I needed first to be on EUDAMED so my customers can see that I am a good an authorized representative. So it's why I mean at the end you say who is first. So because a manufacturer cannot register on EUDAMED if you are not an authorized representative, and you cannot register on EUDAMED if you are not approved by a competent authority. So at the end,
it's a bizarre one. But exactly. I mean, we've had loads of successful applications, obviously, but there's still a few just sitting there with a competent authority, nothing. Absolutely.
No, I think this is. I suppose. I have the same experience. I suppose those are the major issues that I heard from other people that said to me, "Oh, I cannot register because my competent authority doesn't want, or I cannot register because apparently I made a mistake on my application and now have to do it again or whatever." But I mean, this is maybe some exceptions.
There's one other one as well: the playground. The playground is where you can upload your data and test it, where nobody gets to see it. You can make as many mistakes as you want. Brilliant place to go. But some of the competent authorities are not validating there. They said, we do not have access.
Okay.
Now, I have contacted the commission and I said, look, this is what competent authority X said. Is this correct? Radio silence.
Okay.
Absolutely no response.
So, as I said, we have now this experience with the economic operators module. So now we were waiting since many months, because initially it was said that it will be open in March, the device module where you can register device.
March 2020.
Yeah, March 2020, exactly. And then March 2021, they said. And when we arrived to March 2021, I said, no, September 2021. And we arrived to September and we were all asking ourselves, okay, is it open? Will it open? And they waited until the 30th of September to say, oh, we'll close EUDAMED to make an upgrade. So mainly this is that. And now it's open again, I think on the 4th of October or 3rd of October, where they have opened it. And now there was new features like UDI device and certificates also to be registered. So I suppose as you are EUDAMED.com and you are, if I can say, helping manufacturers on that, I suppose that you are busy now with working on a lot of those activities about this device module now.
Busy doesn't come close.
Okay.
For the 23 days before go live, 23 days, Saturdays, Sundays, all the way through, we didn't have a break. Because we knew some of the features were coming. The commission had changed some things at the last minute. And for 23 days straight, we didn't get a day off. 12-hour days. There's a small team of 7 of us. Everybody was just banging away at this thing. Then we hit the go live. So our software, everything had to be ready. But one of the things that they changed was to do with versions. But what was planned initially, and what we'd agreed even when I was there, was that every time you upload a new file, it's a new version.
Okay.
If you upload it 10 times, 10 versions. But they made a change right at the end, which absolutely threw us. Now, when you upload, you have to specify in your XML what the last version was.
Okay.
For every single DI, every single marketing, every single packaging. So that means you have to keep a record of what you've uploaded. So you're uploading version 2, you have to specify version 1 was last, etc., etc. But then you've two environments. You've got the playground and you've got production. So you have to keep these for both, because you could end up uploading more to acceptance than you did to production. So that was one absolute killer. But the application itself, it's up there. It is running. Companies can register their devices now. Now, it's still voluntary.
Yeah.
But even though it's voluntary, this is the moment when you will get help from the Commission. The Commission have a very small support team, and even now I've 5, 6 tickets with them. No response is coming. Whereas a month ago, you'd get a response within about 2 days, but now they're being overloaded with things. But when IT puts something live, you've got that small window where they care, where they want to make sure it's all working. And there's somebody watching logs and watching bugs and trying to fix things really fast. Always. This is just the way IT is. But once they move on to the vigilance and the clinical investigations and the post-market surveillance, the device module, if you have a problem with it, you'll be added to a queue. And it'll be a very long queue, because they do not have an unlimited budget for support.
And I think we also mentioned that when the economic operators module was open, we said that mainly do it now, because more you are waiting, less support you will get. So I think it's the same thing here. So do it now, because anywhere at a certain point, everybody will be coming and will be doing it, and don't wait. So as soon as you can do it, so do it now.
Absolutely.
Have you looked now on the database? Was there already companies that have started to register their device? Is it public? Is it visible? Can I see that?
There's the public database, and there's a search area where you can search for economic operators, your devices, your certificates. Anybody can go in there. Now, there's a synchronization between the databases, because the whole idea of having they are two completely different physical databases, but the whole idea of having them separated was that if the public site gets a denial of service attack, or if it gets just people spinning and searching, if it crashes, so what? The main EUDAMED database will always be up and running, and the manufacturers will still be able to add data, etc. But just because you add your data to EUDAMED doesn't make it go live straight away.
Okay.
There's certain devices, certain classes of devices that the notified body has to approve them first.
Oh.
And what they do, they look at the device, they add the certificate, bang, then it's considered fully registered. And then there's a synchronization. When I was there, I think we'd said maybe 12 hours, it might even be less now, but we'll say every 12 hours, the data is then copied to the public site and it goes public.
And certificates. So I saw also that there is a section certificate. So are they also populated now by notified bodies? Like, can I see, for example, that a company is certified for certain products, or from a certain notified body?
You can, but it's going to be slow.
Okay.
Because the notified bodies don't have the XML upload facilities.
Okay.
The Commission, no, the notified bodies were ready, they were prepared, they wanted this. And because of pressure on the Commission said, we don't have to give you these upload facilities. You can download all you want, which is pretty much useless because you can't download until you upload. But the notified bodies do not have the upload facilities, so they're having to manually type everything in.
Okay. So it will be slow.
That bit could be slow for now.
Okay. So now, practically, if I can say, I am a manufacturer now. Yeah. I say, okay, I will listen to Richard Houlihan, who said, you have to do it now. I have one product on my portfolio. So can I directly go on the database on EUDAMED? And I mean, I have to create my account first, have to create myself as an economic operator there. And then from there, can I go and click on a button to create a new product on EUDAMED and fill all the information?
Absolutely, 100%. If we'd say you're, like you said, manufacturer, you log in, you've got two options, one for registering a regulation basic UDI or for registering a legacy UDI. And then there's a series of tabs, we'll call them. I think for the MDR one, it might be 7 tabs, which includes the marketing and the packaging. But you can enter everything now. I'd say up to 10 UDIDIs, maybe even 20 UDIDIs. I would recommend that you use the front end. If you don't want to use the front end, obviously we can help you with the XML. But I'd say maximum of 20 because it's so easy to make mistakes. And when you hit submit, it goes to the state submitted. If it needs a certificate, then the notified body, like I said, and then once it goes to registered, it's public. But if you make mistakes and then the certificate is attached, if it has to be attached, because certain classes don't even need the certificates, but once it's considered fully registered, it is not so easy to pull back.
Okay.
You have to create another version. And I've been ranting and raving about these versions for 2 years now. But the public are not told that the multiple versions are just of the data. They're not being told that the device only had one release, but these 10 versions are only because of changes to the data. The public sees 10 versions. They think there was something wrong with that product. So people need to also look at the public site as a marketing tool or something that could damage your marketing if you've got too many versions up there. So they really need to be cautious about that.
So we said, as I said, for one product, it's maybe worth to do it, or a few products, it's worth to do it. When I have a lot of products, because some of our manufacturers, they haven't cleaned their portfolio, if I can say, they put every product on the MDR. So what would be your recommendation in terms of transferring those data to EUDAMED? Because I suppose that manually it will take ages to do that. So is there a quicker option, if I can say, to put those information directly on EUDAMED?
I'll tell you one very quick story,
which
we spoke about a few minutes ago. And this company came to me.
Yeah.
They have 1,000 devices, 1,000 UDIDIs.
Okay.
And they want to get them into EUDAMED. And we discussed the particular options where you can complete our spreadsheet template, or you can get your data outputted from your system, and we just import it, validate that it passes all the rules, and go on to EUDAMED with XML. And this person decided, no, we're going to do it manually. 1,000 devices manually. So I explained to them that there was a lady and a man came to our training some months ago, and they did this on the playground. And what she said was that they decided to test EUDAMED. They managed to get access to the playground, and they wanted to see how long it was going to take them. So she said, we didn't have all the data collated, so we had to go here for the marketing and go there for the packaging and stuff. But she said it took them 45 minutes to enter one basic UDI and one UDI-DI.
Yeah.
Now, she said each subsequent UDI-DI under that basic was about 20 minutes, but the first one took 45 minutes. So you multiply that out across 1,000 devices, you're looking at hundreds of hours of somebody typing. And the problem...
And should not make mistakes, because...
That's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing, because people make mistakes. It doesn't matter how good people are at data entry. They kind of fall asleep, and it becomes monotonous, and you can click the wrong button. You can type something in slightly wrong. Even if you're copying and pasting from the technical files, you can still make manual mistakes. So what we've done, and it's a roundabout way of answering your question for a recommendation. So what we've done, we'll accept your data in these JSON files from your existing. We'll accept the templates that we provide. We import that data into the database. We then validate it. And by validate, I mean against all the European Commission's business rules and the specific data formats they're looking for. We give you back nice, simple, easy to read PDFs, highlighting in orange and with notes any rules that you failed. If you pass all the rules, everything, your data is perfect, then we convert it to XML, and either you upload it yourself or we upload it for you, and it gets straight into EUDAMED. And you can do thousands of devices in one move. But the biggest advice I give, obviously use our products, which is fantastic, but over and above that, make sure your data is correct before it goes anywhere near EUDAMED. Because when you're uploading the data, you're only allowed 300 entities, 300 UDIDIs in one XML file. So if you've got 3,000, obviously it's 10 files. But if one individual field in the XML fails, the entire XML file is refused.
Okay.
So then that means you have to then manage these all in batches, because you can't upload it twice. Then you have multiple versions, and it just gets really complicated and messy. So make sure your data is perfect before you go anywhere near EUDAMED.
As you've said, it takes already a lot of hours, if I can say, to fill all those information. Then if there is a mistake, you have to start over, to start from zero, to refill again everything or to redo again everything. So your work mainly will be to pass this through a validation process to verify that everything is working correctly. And this is sent directly to the EUDAMED. So there is no kind of if I can say, process where you are placing manually now. It's like you have a file and you are sending that upload to EUDAMED, and then EUDAMED will receive those information and will look at them and validate them again.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So it's I know that, so as we said, there is this manual process, there is this XML process. Is there any other option that I can go for, or it's mainly the only ones that I can use?
There's three ways to get your data in. One is the manual, typing it all in. That's fine. But then the other two, they call it the bulk upload and the machine to machine.
Okay.
They both use the same XML files. So one of them you can manually upload. So you take your XML file, log in, click here, click there. You can upload 15,000 devices in less than 30 minutes. Doing it the manual route if you don't want the automated. But if you want the automated, it takes the exact same XML, the exact same validated XML, and just pushes it to EUDAMED. Then EUDAMED does the magic and sends back a file saying success or failure, etc. For those who mightn't know, EUDAMED is complicated. Yeah. I know it's just data, and I know it's quite the data. There's no mathematics involved in it. This is just data, text. But the problem is how it's structured, and there's so much of it. For the FDA, and I've said this many times, for the FDA, you have one line on a spreadsheet. For the MDR template that we created, there's 20 tabs. 20 tabs, because there's so many places where data can repeat, and each individual field has its own rules, each row has its own rules, and there's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of things that can cause this to fail. And even in the XML, if you mistakenly put a space between the tags, if you have a file, a 1 megabyte file with 300 entities, and you have a space at the end of the word false,
okay, that
is enough to crash the XML.
Okay. So it's I think important. I mean, this message I think is important for people to understand. As we said, the objective is not that you are rushing, if I can say, to get a consultant to do that or helping you, but the idea is to explain to you that a small mistakes can ruin all your work, all your time, etc., which makes it really difficult. So think twice before thinking, oh yeah, let's do it manually or let's do it alone. Use some professionals to do that. So Richard Houlihan is one of them here that can really help you. And I hope this will be you will help in that. So you have already started to help manufacturers to do that. So you have already started to populate these things. So for now, I hope you had 100% of success on this.
It's good. It's good so far, but the problem with the commission and the problem with IT, it's not just the commission. Things can differ slightly from what they specify. And there's one particular one that I'll bring up with you on legacy device certificates.
Okay.
The rules are very, very clear, right? They give you 5 fields. And one of those fields is the issue date. They want the issue date. But the problem is, on the XML, there is no issue date.
Mm-hmm.
So if you upload something with the issue date in there, it's going to cause trouble. So I've raised it it's one of the many outstanding questions I've raised with the commission, and I'm waiting to get an answer back on that. There was one other one as well, where there was a spelling mistake. And I raised this about 2 years ago. There was a spelling mistake of a particular word in the, what was it called? The equipment for adipose, I think it was.
Okay.
Right? But there was a spelling mistake. Instead of MENT for equipment, they had EMNT, right? No big deal as long as they left it alone. And I did warn a few years ago that, look, someone somewhere is just going to fix this automatically and not pay any attention to it. So in the XML, it's actually fixed. But on their enumerations file, the error is still there.
Okay.
So if you trust the enumerations file, upload, you get refused straight away because you don't have the exact tag that they have.
So I think it's showing that even you are trying really to find all the issues, and you are warning the EU Commission, so you get more experience on this one. So I imagine that the person that is doing that maybe only once for one of his product can get a lot of trouble just because they are not aware of those tiny small issues that are there, and can maybe get in trouble here. So in case maybe the people wants to learn, is there any guidance that the EU Commission is providing so that you can help yourself, I can say, for doing that?
The Commission, when you log into EUDAMED, I think it's under the help menu, there's a list of documents, and there's loads of information there. There really is. But it's also written the Commission's way of writing things, which, as you know from reading MDR and IVDR regulations, is sometimes not so clear.
Yeah.
They've made a lot of presumptions that the people reading the documents are IT people.
Okay.
Which is fine under normal circumstances. You can get away with it, except the IT people who can put together the likes of something like the bulk uploads, the XML and the machine-to-machine, they're a niche within the IT community. And they've written it like they're talking to this niche. They were asked directly at one of the working group meetings, actually at several of the working group meetings, would you put together a simple guide, like an idiot's guide to EUDAMED? And they said no. They said EUDAMED is IT. Medical device manufacturers have their IT teams. So they completely just wash their hands of it. But all the information is there. There's just so much of it. The only reason that we actually put together our training sessions in the first place was because people saw all these documents and they went, oh my God, what do we do? Now, some of it, obviously, you can understand, but other bits are just, they're messy, they're complicated. And it's not that it's too complicated for you to understand. It's just you've never seen it written like this before. So that's kind of a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
But the training sessions we put together, the ones that you and I did together for your training as well.
Yeah.
It's just to try and help people get a little bit of understanding for it. We've actually put all our training online as well now with the Selfpaced training, but all the documents are there. They can download absolutely everything.
I mean, it's great because as I'm always saying, so there are those big companies that have some resources and can maybe do by themselves, and we have small businesses that don't have the same amount of resources or same knowledge. I mean, we are sometimes medical device manufacturers, we manufacture instruments. We are not IT people, so we have no clue how to write those information or understand the vocabulary, as you mentioned, about bulk upload or whatever. So this is something where I suppose trainings like the ones that you have or documents templates that like the one that you have can help really the companies because mainly, they don't have multiple choices here to do the work. So it's why it's really important, I think. So thank you for providing that.
Even if companies decide to go through these documents themselves, it will take them weeks.
Yeah.
This isn't a quick read before going to bed. There is weeks of information in here.
So it's important to say weeks of reading for maybe registering 10 products. Is it worth it? So mainly this is
definitely not. But even some of the bigger, we've had a lot of the big companies come to our training, and they have big IT teams, but these IT teams are busy. If they want to go in and try and create their own EUDAMED application or something like that, it's going to take them months to create it. It's going to take them many weeks to understand the information in the first place. So they're looking at a long-scale project that they have to support for years. So a lot of their IT people are going, no, make it go away.
Exactly.
Which is great for me.
Exactly. Yeah. It's better to go to, as I said, special people that already have knowledge on that. And actually, as we said, so we have this economic operators module, we have this device module, the certificates for notified body that they can place. And we have still some modules that are planned to be open before we can consider that it's mandatory now to place your information on EUDAMED. So do you know, I mean, what are those modules and do you know when they will be open?
Okay. You've got three remaining. You've got the vigilance, the clinical investigations and performance studies, and post-market surveillance. So they've started on vigilance. Okay, they were still, to the best of my knowledge, they were still doing some of the analysis on clinical investigations. The vigilance, the commission have said they're going to place on the playground towards the middle of next year.
Okay.
But they said they're not going to put it into production yet, even if it's finished. They said they're not going to put it into production until everything is finished. That's clinical investigations, performance studies, all of it. That's a problem.
I mean, so it means by May 26, 2022, which is as we called it, the Big Bang, where everything will be open at the same time. So now it's not considered anymore?
It's not. It was never possible. It was never possible. I know the commission said it was, and I take my hat off to them. They're always optimistic with these things. But when we were doing the high level estimates, and this is back in 2019. Yeah. We were doing the high level estimates I sat with the developers and we go through every single step, and high level estimates they're real finger in the air. They're real guesswork, but it gives you a feel for it. But as soon as you drill down into things, the high level estimates always increase in days. For the DI module, the device module, we estimated 740 days. Right? It's taken a little bit longer than that because it was started in 2017, 2018. So it's taken a little bit longer than that. These are man days. For the clinical investigations, we didn't even have all the information, and we'd estimated 1,440 days.
Okay. Wow, double.
So if they think, or if they thought, and I know when I was there, I did try and point some of these things out, but as a consultant, you're not always right, apparently.
Yeah.
But I told them that this was going to take a lot longer than they were estimating, because the clinical investigations module, it's an entire ecosystem. It's an entire life cycle. There's lots of timed events where you have to sign off on it within a week, and then it goes to this person. They have to upload a document to get validated by the next and the next and the next. So it really is trying to take the whole ecosystem of the investigations in. But it's huge. It is absolutely huge. So initially they'd hoped May 2022. Impossible. So now they're looking at May 2023.
Okay.
right?
So because so the point is EUDAMED will be mandatory as soon as it will be fully available. So does it mean that we have to wait until 2023 then for that?
This is where I have to take out my crystal ball.
Okay.
Right. So at the moment, EUDAMED is not going to be mandatory until it's fully functional. It's only fully functional after everything is live. But, and this is just my opinion based on, we'll say, years of inside the commission and discussions in the commission that happened. Implementing acts, as you know, can change anything.
Yeah.
They can turn night into day if they want. So implementing acts. Now, the whole argument was that EUDAMED couldn't work 100% properly until everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not entirely true, because actors, devices, certificates, and vigilance, they can work perfectly without clinical investigations.
Yeah.
And the post-market surveillance is supposed to come a year after. So in theory, they could put actors, devices, certificates, vigilance live. An implementing act can then decide it's now fully functional.
Okay.
And they can add the other two modules later.
Okay, understand. So,
2023, with a good tailwind and all good things happening behind you, you might get there.
Okay.
But if they hit some problems, if they hit some member state arguments or a banana skin from the industry, another COVID-19 type event, then suddenly 2023 could be 2025. So at some point, the commission is going to have to make a decision and go, look, the core modules. And when I was in the commission, as a consultant, when I was there, we had actually decided initially that part of vigilance plus the other three modules were the core of it, and that would have been enough to be fully functional. But then they kind of stepped back from that, and now they went, everything to be fully functional. But how long are the member states going to wait?
Yeah, I suppose, at certain point they have to make a decision and move forward. And I'm already hearing some member states that are asking you to register on EUDAMED for some economic operators. They say you will be accepted when I will see your name on EUDAMED. I see also some importers, some distributors. A lot of people say I will accept your products only if I see them on EUDAMED. I mean, or your name as a manufacturer on EUDAMED. So even if it's not mandatory, there are a lot of entities or economic operators that are saying the only thing that I'm looking at is an approval from EUDAMED that you are a real manufacturer, that you are a real importer or whatever, because then it provides them like some kind of confidence to say, yes, those devices that they are doing is work. Because as importer, as distributors, they have the obligation also to check that you are registered on EUDAMED, and they are applying that now, even if it's not mandatory. So it's not mandatory, but there are apparently some people that are requesting that.
Don't forget, there are certain other markets that are also looking at EUDAMED as the basis. Your CE mark opens the door. So if you're not on EUDAMED, obviously you don't have your CE mark.
Yeah.
That's the way they're looking at it.
And it's exactly, I mean, it's the way that we are doing that for the US with the FDA databases. Each time we wanted to check if a product is registered in the US, we go on the FDA database and we find all the information. We find which product is there, what was the registration, etc. Now, on what was the classification of the product also, and now it will be the same in Europe. I mean, a few months ago, people were asking me, where can I have a database where I can see that a product is CE marked in Europe? And I said, no, there is no database. Until EUDAMED is live, there is no database. So now with the EUDAMED, with this module, as soon as you register, you can prove that your product is CE marked in Europe because it will be registered on the EUDAMED database, which is, I think, something really great also for us regulators, because then we can help you exactly to show that, yes, this product is compliant and then reviewed by authorities and approved by authorities, which is also a good tool. So, Richard, related to now your activities? So we say that, for example, to register the products, it's better to start now and not to wait. We have also the fact that, as you've said, that as they open now, there will be more support for the EU Commission than maybe later. So you are open. I mean, we talked about that, but you are open now for customers to come to you and then to ask you for support to register their products on EUDAMED.
We've actually had some customers going back to the beginning of this year who have already been collating their data. They have it all sitting there just waiting for the final validation to go to EUDAMED. I've been telling companies for 2 years, as you know, you need to get the data together. You need to get it ready for the exact reasons like we mentioned. If this implementing act comes along and it becomes legally binding a lot sooner than people are dreaming about, they could be in trouble. And if you're going to the other markets or your importers, distributors, some competent authorities could also start putting pressure on because they're also relying on EUDAMED. I say, get your data in there as soon as possible. It's not going to cost you any more to put it in there sooner.
Yeah.
It might be actually less stressful just to get it over and done with. But I would strongly advise people to start doing it now. Even if they decide not to use us, if they don't like the look of our products, there's other companies doing it as well. Maybe not as nicely as we do it, but there's still other companies.
But as you've said, the idea is not that you are populating all the fields. The idea is that this company are populating some tables, and then with those tables, you can create the XML file or the documents that they will be used for validation. So it's not like you can, here are my products, like a portfolio of products without information, and you can build everything. You have to receive the data from them. So it's why you are saying you have to collect first those data on a certain table, and then from there, we can do all the work of placing them on the XML file, validating them, validating the format, validating everything, and then uploading, if they want, uploading that on the EUDAMED database.
I mean, there's companies can bring in consultants to put all the data together.
Yeah.
They will get charged an absolute fortune. But the people who know the data are already in your company.
Yeah.
I know I was talking with some companies and they estimated something like 50,000 to get the data together for a few thousand products, which is ridiculous.
Okay.
But the people that are already in your company, they can easily lay their hands on the data, stick it in a spreadsheet, and it's a lot cheaper. Yeah,
they know where it is. And you are also, I mean, in case they are not using you, you are also providing trainings to people, as you've said, with that. Are you doing still some live trainings?
Live online.
Yeah, live online, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. We had planned on doing the next one in November.
Okay.
But we had a lot of people just this week. People have become very interested in it, so we added another date for the end of October as well. So end of October, end of November, and then it's end of January.
Okay, so I'll put anyway all those information on the show notes, the website eudamed.com, where you can get all those details and the dates. And then from there, I really encourage you to register to those trainings or to use eudamed.com for placing your devices on the EUDAMED database. It will cost you less than making mistakes or doing that by yourself, because at the end, as Richard said, it's really worth it, if I can say, to be sure that your data are correctly on the database and you will not lose time because of that. So I hope really that this will be helping everybody for that. And Richard will maybe contact you again, maybe also for when the next modules will be open, to see what is your experience on it and what are maybe the things that people have to be careful on also, because I know that there will be still some surprises when the next modules will be available.
Always surprises from the Commission.
Great. So thank you then, Richard, for your support and for your help on this. And I'm sure that people will contact you after this episode so that they can get more details and more information about how you can maybe help them. So I hope, really, that this will be helpful for all the manufacturers that are now struggling maybe to understand how they can place all those devices on the EUDAMED database. Okay, Richard, so it was really a pleasure to have you, and I wish you a nice day.